Warriors Unite! Back with another episode of Vigor Warriors 2 in the 1% Club. And in fact, that opening, I'm going to talk about a little bit because we've had a couple comments. I think Mission sent me a comment, and I've had a few comments before about that. So I know we have a lot of new subscribers. So we'll talk about why I do that, and especially in the battle on at the end. We'll talk about that in a second. So we'll kind of term this one as that. What does Warriors Unite mean? All right, but before we do that, let's go ahead and do some. And once again, thank you for your comments, likes, donations, everything. I appreciate all that as usual. Shout outs. Haltestelle, Semen Reborned. Thank you, my friend. Stuartwagner, thank you. Vel Plays 2.0. Jesus Emanuel, thank you. Samkahlaut 2740, thank you. Bob Cool 497, thank you. Djugga Kuntu, thank you. Kaneki and Toxi Fan, thank you. We'll talk about white. I can't read my own writing here. Itself, we'll talk about that at some point here. Radio Ear, thank you. Nicolas Stuart, Samkahlaut, thank you. Don Von Life's Investing, thank you. Oh man, I can't read my writing here. It's sick. Saad Kubin, thank you. James Barney, thank you. Brother Boldly, Official Music, thank you. And Chris T, thank you, my friend. Antonio, Nicholas, and Alvin, thank you guys very much for your comments. And I probably messed some of those up, so I apologize for that. And hopefully you guys continue writing and making comments. We got a bunch more comments coming pretty soon. All right, so let's talk about this. So why in the world, and I think somebody called me a lunatic, and I appreciate that. Why in the world would I do that? So let's kind of talk about that a little bit at the beginning. So we are in a battle, my friends. You may not know that, and I haven't really talked about that recently, but we're in a battle. We're in a battle for ourselves and our own control. The whole idea is that Satan, through a lot of different temptations, and women being the biggest temptation, have set up a pattern that a lot of men are weak. They're simps, because what they're doing is that they've been taught to do anything women want. They're desperate for women just because they want sex with women. And because of that, then they do pornography, all these other types of things they get involved with, and they lose their energy. And because of they lose their energy, they become less masculine. Now, whether you believe in retention or not, you have to logically think to yourself that you have the seed, the energy within you to help create a child. That means that women need to have your energy. And because of that, warriors, you basically have the power. Now, in society, and through all the teachings that people have given each one of us, a lot of men, we don't believe that at all. We believe it's kind of the opposite. We have this toxic masculinity that people talk about. I've heard about it the other day as well again. And people don't really know what they're talking about. And the bottom line is that men are the ones who have the power. And it always goes back down to the fact that women understand this. Now, even though you may see a mystery out there, you may see women being mysterious, they're trying to look good, attract you, the enchantress is putting you in a web, in a spell. What's happening is that they want your energy in one form or another, whether it's physical, whether it's psychological, whether it's actually for children. It might be for a lot of reasons. All we're kind of doing is indicating, men, we need to wake up, warriors. We need to realize that that's the case. And this is why I scream at the beginning, because we need a wake-up call. Men are being brainwashed to be told that they are not masculine. It's wrong to be masculine. And that itself is so wrong. But that, once again, there's purposes behind that. Obviously, try to make men weak, the country weak, sell products, all this kind of stuff is there because they want to make men weaker. And men need to be strong. They need to protect, provide. Women want that. Don't get fooled with all this stuff you're talking about. The more simplest men are, the less women respect that. Women respect the man who is strong. And there's no doubt about that. They may tell you other things, and they may have more emotions, empathy, all this other kind of nonsense. But the bottom line is is they will not feel safe around with somebody who they don't respect. And the bottom line is that they will respect somebody who has their power. And they want this. This is why I used to call this energy suckers and energy vampires. The bottom line is that there are a lot of women out there who want your energy. They are attracted to your energy. Women will not go after somebody who basically they don't respect. And if you're doing everything for the woman, if you're kind of kowtowing down, if you're giving them all the power, you're giving up your energy for nothing. They're not going to respect that. This is why they always go after the bad boys. This is why they always chase people, the chads, all these things you want to call them. The men who don't give them, who ignore them, who don't give them time of day, that's the ones they want. Because they're living their own life. They're on their own purpose. The high-value male, the masculine male who wants nothing to do with a lot of these women. Because they realize women will bring them down. Emotionally, spiritually. And if you're on your purpose, and it took me a long time to figure a lot of this stuff out, but if you're on your purpose, women will be around all the time. I told this to the younger warriors in my family, males especially. Women will always be there because they sense it. They will even come back. Even if they leave you, they'll come back. Because they recognize that you're a man of high value. You're on your purpose. You're focusing on making money, bettering yourself in the gym. You're focusing on all these things. And women see that. And they understand that. And as a result of that, they want to be part of your life. They're not gonna just find so many guys. They can find any joker. They can date anybody they want to, especially if they're in their 20s. They see this all the time. But really what they want is the energy of someone who is on their purpose, who's not just sitting around, lazy, nothing going on. They don't want that. I mean, they may end up marrying somebody like that, at least for the time being, because they may not have any other choice once they hit the wall and they're 30 years old. And I see this all the time. I see lots of women who are in their 30s and they've played around and they have no men, and so they'll marry somebody because they want to have some male in their life. But the bottom line is the person that they really want is someone like you, warriors who are on a purpose. And we go back to the same old thing. The reason why we make this call is to wake men up. And the same thing at the end. Wake men up. Battle on. And it may be a little extreme, but the bottom line is that when you realize we have to unite, and men have to unite to indicate that we are not going to fall for temptation. The women in our life need to be there because we want them to be, because they add value, they're helping us achieve goals, and they're working with us to achieve things. That's fine. But when it comes to women who you're just giving everything to, money, time, energy to, they're going to suck you dry because they don't respect you for that. They need to earn this stuff from you. And don't let the world fool you otherwise. Realize, guys, that women, now, yeah, I suppose women can go to the hospital and get test tube, Siemens and all this other kind of stuff. But women need men. And a lot of times they need men to procreate, and especially when they're younger. If they want to have children, they need to have men. Now, they could fool around all they want, but the bottom line is no one is going to stick with them if they're having lots of multiple relationships. And this is why you see a lot of women who are by themselves, who are lonely, who are looking for men in their 30s and their 40s and 50s because they don't. Now, they could fool you saying, oh, I'm this independent person all by myself and responsible. And, they could fool themselves all they want. But the bottom line is they will respect and they will admire and they will be lusting after a man who basically is a person who is on their purpose, on their goals. So the best recommendation to make is don't pay attention to these women. Move on. Do the things you got to do. They will follow you because they want your energy. They want you. And so the battle call at the beginning of the show is basically talking about the fact that you are a person who needs to unite yourself and to be able to say, we are together on this, and we recognize that Satan and the devil is trying to take us and move us in a different direction, and will not stand for that. And we're going to continue to focus on what is important. And what's important is you're becoming the best you can be under God's rule and under God's purpose. Following God's purpose and being the best you can be in the physical way, working out. I've dropped by 35 pounds. I feel tremendous. And I'm going to go back and work out. Actually, I finished this, so I'm going to go back and work out again. But the bottom line is that spiritually, pray, continue to worship your Creator, in my case, Lord Jesus Christ, and focus on the intellectual, improve yourself every day. You'll never have to worry about women. In fact, you shouldn't even think about women. You should be focusing on your goals, number one. You'll be surprised. Once you stop thinking about women, and I get caught up in all this stuff in the media and all this other kind of nonsense, you'll have women all over the place. In fact, they'll be knocking your door down because they need attention. Women need validation a lot more than men. Women need that. This is going back to the days of Cleopatra, even before that. All women need is attention. They want to know that you're giving them validation. This is the power you have, males. Don't give your power up physically, psychologically. They need your validation. And obviously silence, we talked about this in another video, silence, ignoring them when they're not doing what you want them to do is the best remedy, because they'll realize that they need you more than you need them. And they'll humble. And you need once in a while to do that, because if you're doing the opposite, they lose respect for you, and that will make your life miserable. So don't do that. Focus on yourself. This is why I say we need to unite. And so as people have asked me about this and talking about this, I agree with you, my friend. It's very strange, but there's a purpose behind it. I do everything for a purpose. And the purpose is we need to wake people up and get people to understand that we need to stop this behavior. Quit looking at images. Focus on yourself. Have a purpose and goal, and your life will be 100 times better. I see comments all the time coming through. Great, I have used semen retention for so long. I've stopped. My life is 10 times better. I got a job. I got a promotion. I got good relationships. All those things happen because you learn self-control. Self-control is where you begin the process of becoming the most excellent person under God you can be. You control this aspect first, then you go to a lot of other things, controlling your diet, controlling your exercising, controlling your emotions, all those things follow. So as we talk about this, the reason I talk about uniting again is that we've got to come together and wake up and realize what the world is doing to us. And the reason I say battle on is because we got to continue to be perseverance and continue to be dedicated to the cause of fighting this and getting back to the masculine male we need to be. All right, my friends. So anyway, thank you guys for your comments. As always, I appreciate those. I wanted to clarify, especially for a lot of the newer people that are in our audience, that it is extremely important that we continue to unite together. And two things I always say when I end these videos. One, every day is a new day to a great warrior, because a great warrior will continue. Forget about the past. The new day's here. Continue to conquest yourself, conquest other people. And especially, we have to continue to, it's coming. We need to